I've just changed the colours of my word because it's something nicer that I wanted to work with. I'm going to now show you how to adjust, how to transform, how to break apart, and do a few other exciting things with your type. So it's not just how the computer intended it to be, you've got a bit more creative control. If you get your selection tool up here, over the corner you've already learnt that if it's a straight double-ended arrow and you click and drag holding down your shift key, you can make it bigger and smaller. However, if you hover just above it, you get this curved line with arrow ends. If you click and drag in any direction, it'll start to rotate. Also, if you hold down shift whilst doing so, it'll want to click on certain rotations and certain preset axes. So I can rotate to my heart's content. If I don't like it, Control Z is undo, or edit, undo. Next, what I'd like you to do is start to use your right click. Right click, create outlines. You can do this two ways. Right click, create outlines, but you've got to make sure it's selected, or you can use your type menu. Oops, type create outlines. What that's done is it's made the box smaller, touching the edges of your letters. And if I zoom in, especially to my, say to the top of my letters, actually they're a bit messy, let's use this one here. Top of my H, you get these tiny little squares here, and they're called nodes. You can adjust each and every one of those nodes, so they just show you where the major parts of your curve are. When they're all dark blue, like a filled in blue, they'll move together. But if you use this white arrow, the direct selection tool, see how if I just click on my path, so the line around it's called a path, if I just click on my path and not a node, they're now white. If I was to click just on a node, any node, they go blue, and these other little dots appear near them. So they're also nodes, but they're actually handles. Well, what happens is you can click and drag, which means we're only adjusting one part of our letter. So our letter is no longer a type or a font, it's become a picture. These little guys are handles. So we can drag them and they adjust the curve, which is a bit of fun. If you want to get a few nodes together, click, drag a box, and whatever was in that box become selected. I'm just going to zoom out a bit so you can see how it's changed. If you want to pan around your screen, you've got these down the bottom, but you can also hold down spacebar and this hand comes up, which you'll notice I do. So by clicking and dragging, your hand holds onto your screen and moves it. Okay, now would be a good time to teach you how to save. You never know when the power will go down or when something will happen, your computer decides to crash and you're going to lose 100 minutes of work that you've done. File, save as. Okay, you need to, I'll just move it up so you can see the dialog box. Okay, your save as box. Make sure that you select for yourselves a box that you want to save it in. make sure you create yourselves a folder. Be organized. This is really important. So I'm just going to make a new folder. Illustrator tutorials. You can call yours design work, whatever you like, multimedia work. Just make sure it's an appropriate name. You've got your file name, which is test. Save as Adobe Illustrator.ai. Keep it all the same. We want that. There are a whole lot of different things, but we just want to keep it on this one. And you simply go save. It'll bring up the .ai. Push it again. It'll bring up a new dialog box. This is completely normal. Don't worry about changing any of that. Just click OK. Alright, another thing that you may have noticed, I'll just zoom out for a sec. With your selection tool, all the letters are selected. With your direct selection tool, I'll just click off it to deactivate, click back on, one letter selected. We can manipulate these letters individually. You can do that with your direct selection tool, or if you want even more control, click on it, right click, ungroup. So now we can move our letters and adjust them at our own will. We can also go in and change the colours of our letters if we like. Have some with a stroke, some without a stroke. We can do whatever we like. We could also, let's just quickly change this typeface to something else. See, Arial, something just a bit more basic, regular. I'm going to make that a bit thinner. I'm going to go create outlines, ungroup, and then maybe I decide I just want this L. I'll push delete to get rid of that, and I want a more structured L to go in there. Make it a bit bigger. I've decided that I'd like that to be maybe just the blue color. So you can add in some different letters of different typefaces. That's something else I want you to experiment with. So one typeface,